Organic food must meet some standards before being certified as organic food. So it's a very rigorous process. So in crops, there shouldn't be any trace of synthetic fertilizers, pesticide, no irradiation or genetic engineering. For organic animals, they have to have the access to the outdoors. Shouldn't be any trace of growth hormone, antibiotics, drugs. And lastly, even the feeds to the animals need to be organic. So there are some certain extent to reach this standard. So because of this, organic produce, they may have 30% lower risk of pesticide contamination, and they may contain higher levels of nutrients, maybe around 70% comparing to the non-organic stuff. And good news for environmental lover is that organic produce can be more sustainable. But however, because of the process in growing organic food, there will be more cost. So it can be 20 to 100% more expensive comparing to non-organic food, and they may be hard to find in certain areas. So do we need to take organic food? Okay, so we see from this association, environmental working groups has actually listed down the top 12 most contaminated fruits and vegetables in pesticide. So if you are taking anything from this list, maybe you can consider choosing organic, for example, strawberry, nectarines, and so on. But if you are not taking any organic food, that's perfectly fine. You can practice these few ways to reduce pesticide residue. First, you wash, rinse, soak, scrub, okay? And you throw off the outer leaf, especially the leafy vegetables, because that's where a lot of pesticide will be deposited there. And peel off the skin of the fruits. But however, if you're peeling off the skin, you're also peeling off a lot of fiber and also nutrients. And lastly, for animal produce, trim the fats, trim the skin, because most of the growth hormone and the antibiotics are fat soluble, so very likely they will be deposited in the fatty parts of the meat. Okay, however, I need to let you know that there's actually no conclusive scientific evidence stating that organic food can help to fight against cancer or healthier or better in taste. Okay, so the main thing is that you have to enjoy a variety of foods. Okay, don't just take strawberry every day. You alternate your choices, so the risk of getting pesticide contaminated or getting pesticide accumulated in your body will be much lesser. So you alternate your choices. And the very important primary goal is that no matter you are taking organic food or non-organic food, you have to take at least 5 servings of fruits and vegetables per day. Okay, so if you are taking organic food, but you're saying that organic food are very expensive, I eat little bit. So that's not a wise practice actually. So no matter you're taking organic food or non-organic food, reach your recommended fruits and vegetables intake. Okay, so before we go on to the Avengers, different diet Avengers that help you to fight against cancer, I will just go through very quickly to recap on the multi-steps of cancer development. So first, I have an innocent cell here exposing to carcinogen, got mutated, and the trigger is still there, encouraging the growth. It will start to protect them from immune system destruction and also growth surveillance. At the same time, they produce inflammation, and they start invading to other parts of the body. They start to grow there. Okay, so at the same time, they produce their own blood supply, angiogenesis, and they will discharge inflammatory cytokines, the rubbish, which will cause weight loss, loss of appetite, and so on. Okay, so in terms of nutrients or a nutritious diet, our nutritious diet can actually target these few parts. First and foremost, the diet that we take every day, if you are getting the correct ingredients, the healthy ingredients, it can help to boost the immune system of your body. So that means that your immune system will become more sensitive in capturing mutated cells before they have the time to grow into a group of mutated cells. At the same time, our diet and also nutrients can reduce the inflammation and also reduce the inflammatory cytokines that is produced by the cancer cells. And next, it can prevent them from spreading into other parts of the body. So it can prevent metastasis. It can cut down the blood supply, prevent angiogenesis. And lastly, very important, is that it can neutralize the carcinogens or neutralize the trigger that's causing DNA mutation in the body. So what about the migration of cancer? Okay, our body our diet and also nutrients can target different parts. First is that our diet can actually modulate the production of galectin-3 adhesion molecule that's producing by our own body. So it can modulate so that it's just enough for the function of the normal cells. And also, there are some phytochemicals that will stick onto the surface, the galectin-3 molecules on the surface of cancer cells to make them non-sticky. So as in, they can't stick onto anywhere to migrate and so on. And lastly, same thing, it can modulate the production of galectin-3 molecules, especially in the inner lining of blood vessels, so can prevent them from sticking onto it and penetrate and so on. So let's say I have a picture here showing a cancer cells without the galectin-3 molecules. So it is non-sticky, so it's like wandering in the middle of the blood vessels, has nothing to adhere to. So these wandering cancer cells, right, can be easily captured and destroyed by white blood cell. So our white blood cell can kill them off timely. So the role of diet again, basically 3 pillars the diet can do. First is that immune support, provide more immune support to your body so your immune system can be stronger in detecting and killing mutated cells. Detox support. When we talk about detox, it's not just about detox your body and so on. Detox here means that it can neutralize the carcinogens that you're exposing to. For example, if you are taking satay, but when you take satay together with plenty of cucumbers and onions, probably the phytochemicals can neutralize, or in this case, detox the carcinogens in the satay, for example. And also, detox is that, especially when you are fighting against cancer or you're going through a treatment, so there will be a lot of dead cell in the body. So nutrients can help to remove the cell debris from your body so that your body can be cleaner. And lastly, will be repair support. So especially when we kill off some cancers and we need new cells to grow, so a nutritious diet or nutrients can help to ensure that the new cell that's being grow will be healthy and will be of healthy DNA, healthy cells. Okay, so the very first diet adventure that I will present to you is beta-glucan. Okay, beta-glucan is actually a soluble fiber that can be found in some plants, sea vegetables or seaweed, and certain microalgae. For example, one of the species of microalgae by the name of euglena, or some mushrooms or oats and so on, they contain beta-glucan. So research has shown that there are some immune cells, right? There are some receptors that can be stimulated by beta-glucan. So if we eat food that contains beta-glucan, beta-glucan will pass through the intestine, and the beta-glucan will sit on the receptor that can be activated by them on the surface of immune cell. So let's say when this beta-glucan got in touch with the receptor of an immune cell, the immune cell will become very sensitive, as in you can see from this picture, start calling for help, become very sensitive in capturing not just mutated cells, but also destroying viruses, bacteria, and so on, so it can prevent you from getting diseases. And also through the interaction of beta-glucan and the receptor of immune cell, it can stimulate their growth. So because of this, if you have adequate beta-glucan, it may help you to prevent cancer or fight against cancer. Next will be probiotics. Okay. Probiotics, simply put, is that microorganisms, when we are taking at an adequate amount, putting them at the right place, probiotics will confer human health benefits to the body. So probiotics, like what Dr. Luke had mentioned in the very much earlier of the talk, is that the probiotics, right, are not just about maintaining a healthy digestion. In fact, they play more versatile role in the body. Okay, so here again, this is the inner environment of our intestine. So you can see a lot of finger-like projection. They are the villus, we call. So the 4 nasty-looking creatures over there are the bad bacteria, or they can also represent mutated cell. So let's say if we are replenishing the probiotics in our gut daily, so the probiotics can help to ferment the fiber that we take, or we can also call the fiber as prebiotics. So when they ferment, you produce the short-chain fatty acid that Dr. Luke had mentioned, if you can remember, butyrate. This butyrate can help to kill off the bad bacteria in the gut. And at the same time, it functions very similar. The benefits will be very similar to beta-glucan, is that the probiotics in the gut, right, will also influence the growth of immune system. So in fact, a lot of the immune system is actually related to the gut, your healthy gut. So when we have healthy ecosystem of probiotics in our gut, it can help to stimulate the growth of immune cells, and through that, it can help us to prevent against cancer, as well as when they are outnumbered, the bad bacteria, it can prevent like food poisoning and so on. And also nowadays, there are a lot more and more studies coming out stating that a healthy ecosystem of your gut, they play more roles in your body. For example, two groups of people, people suffering with depression and a group of people have no depression. They found out they have very different ecosystem of the probiotics in the gut. As similarly, obese and non-obese, or even diabetes and non-diabetes, or even cancer or normal healthy human beings, they have a very totally different ecosystem of probiotics in the gut. So owing to this, there are more research leading to whether or not probiotics can really help to prevent against cancer or fight against cancer. Okay, so now you can start to include more probiotic food in your diet. For example, yogurt, kombucha, miso, natto, kimchi, and so on in your diet. So to replenish the gut bacteria, the good guys in your gut. Okay, next I will introduce to you Green Avenger. So Green Avenger, this is actually green catechin. Okay, catechin is a polyphenol that can be found in green tea. And a very famous catechin that can fight against cancer is this catechin by the name of epigallocatechin gallate, EGCG, can fight against cancer. So how does it work is that it can prevent the metastasis. It may help to cut down the blood supply, improving immune system, as well as reducing inflammation and also detox system, enhancing the detox system of the body. So how much should we drink in a day? You can aim for 5 to 6 glasses or 6 cups of green tea in a day. And besides that, besides drinking green tea, you can also use, like nowadays we have like matcha powder. You can add some matcha powder into your breakfast cereal or make into a dessert, or as simple as blending with yogurt to get hold of the nutrients of this EGCG. So EGCG, or green tea in that sense, has shown to fight against cancer of the stomach, colorectal, and so on. Especially a lot of studies has been done in Japan. So they found out why the Japanese have a relatively lesser risk of cancer. It's because of, probably because of the green tea that they drink. Okay, next will be curcumin. Curcumin is an active phytochemical that can be found in the root of turmeric. So it has very strong anti-inflammatory and strong antioxidative benefits to the body. However, turmeric itself has a very low bioavailability, or the curcumin, very low absorption in our body. So what you can do is that when you take curcumin, you can actually add some black pepper. The phytochemical in black pepper by the name of piperine can actually enhance the absorption of curcumin in the body. So that makes our curry a very healthy dish because of the different combination of herbs and spices. So you can try to add like turmeric powder in your vegetables or in your chicken and so on. And also probably you can also try to make this turmeric milk yourself. Turmeric milk, you can use like almond milk with some turmeric powder, black pepper, cinnamon, and you can sweeten with some maple syrup, and you can get hold of the different phytochemicals in this group of phytochemicals. Next will be cruciferous vegetables. Cruciferous vegetables will include like cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprout, and so on. Why are they very famous, or there are studies being done like how they can fight against cancer? Is that they are very rich in a group of phytochemicals. But I will just highlight 2. One will be indole-3-carbinol, another one is isothiocyanate. So indole-3-carbinol, right, is actually a phytochemical that can influence the metabolism of estrogen. Remember that I mentioned earlier, estrogen, when it's broken down to a harmful metabolite by the name of 16-alpha-hydroxyestrone, or we simply call the subtype number 16 of this estrogen metabolite. This estrogen metabolite will trigger DNA mutation in hormone-sensitive organs like breast, tissues, or ovary, and so on. So what will this indole-3-carbinol do is that it can direct the metabolism of estrogen so that the estrogen will be break down into the non-harmful metabolite. And also, it can optimize the body's detox system to neutralize environmental toxin. And not just for among females, males can also get hold of the benefits of cruciferous vegetables. Because the isothiocyanate, another phytochemicals, can downregulate the androgen receptors. So it may also help males to fight against prostate cancer. Okay, next will be Purple Avenger, resveratrol, that can be found in polyphenol that can be found in grapes, other plants like berries, peanuts, or even red wine. Especially, they can prevent DNA damage and it may help to protect several kinds of cancer. Okay, next will be a sunshine vitamin, vitamin D. Vitamin D is a very simple vitamin, but it can do wonders in the body. Okay, so why do I call it a sunshine vitamin? Is that our body can naturally produce vitamin D when we're exposed to the sunlight. Okay, but however, there are several factors that will affect vitamin D production of your skin. First will be age. Okay, as we grow older, the effectiveness of our skin production of vitamin D will reduce. Then, as also genes, there are certain recessive genes, right, that will impair the skin production of vitamin D. And research has shown that patients that have this recessive gene in the body, where they produce less vitamin D from the skin, they have a higher risk of colorectal cancer and also some other cancers because the body don't have enough vitamin D. And also skin pigmentation, the darker our skin, the less effective our skin can produce vitamin D, sun exposure, and in fact, to reach a blood level of vitamin D that can help you to fight against cancer, you need to stand outside the sunlight between 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. for 20 minutes. Then you get adequate vitamin D on your skin. Okay? But bear in mind, like what Dr. Luke had mentioned earlier, that same intensity of UV ray is also the same intensity that will cause skin cancer, just to let you know. So, and also there are also other diseases and medication that will affect skin production of vitamin D. And nowadays, mostly we are indoors, and our diet is not very balanced. So because of this reason, research has also shown that 50% of children and adults worldwide has this vitamin D deficiency. But we need at least 1,000 to 3,000 IU of vitamin D per day to translate into a blood level of 30 to 50 nanogram per ml of vitamin D in our blood. Okay, so when you are taking adequate vitamin D from your diet, that level of vitamin D can only help you to prevent the softening of the bones. We call it rickets. But if you take vitamin D at a much higher dose, vitamin D will function as a hormone that can prevent you from cancers. Because studies has found out that throughout the body, there are a lot of cells that have this receptor that can be stimulated by vitamin D. So let's talk about normal cells, like immune cells. Immune cells, they are also having this receptor that can be activated by vitamin D. So when vitamin D activated this receptor, it can enhance the growth of immune cells. And also in cancer cells, they also have receptors that can be stimulated by vitamin D. But as opposite, when vitamin D sits on the receptor on the cancer cells, it can stimulate programmed cell death. And also vitamin D can reduce one of the inflammatory cytokines, IL-6. You can search it up. This IL-6, if it's too high in the body, it can lead to several cancer. Okay, so I just have time to cover a few diet advantages, but not means that when the food that I didn't cover doesn't mean that they don't have cancer fighting property. So bear in mind that as a conclusion, there's no certain food ingredients that can help you to fight against cancer. Okay, it's about a totality and your dietary pattern. So aim for a variety of fruits and vegetables in your diet, herbs, spices, or even legumes and beans, because they have all different phytochemicals to fight against cancer. So as a conclusion, remember your diet and a proper supplementation can build up these three pillars: immune support, detox support, repair support. Okay, so let's fix the puzzle together. How a dietary pattern can help you to fight against cancer. So this one will be a dietary pattern that you should be adhering to at least 80 to 90% of your time. So for example, Monday to Friday, for example. Okay, so what you can do is that you take plenty of fruits and vegetables in a variety of colors, and you can start to include some cruciferous vegetables in your diet, and use more herbs and spices, like for example, turmeric or black pepper, or even like garlic, onions, and so on, to get hold of the nutrients. And next, instead of processed meat and red meat, you replace with fatty fishes, white meat. And also, you take healthy oil instead of fried stuff. And next will be you can include some green tea in your diet because there are some studies showing that green tea can help to fight against cancer. And lastly, not forgetting the little guys in your gut, the probiotics. Replenish daily the probiotics that are in your gut. Okay, so as a conclusion, what can we do amidst of all the limitations is that we choose natural whole foods, we stay active, work on your diet, aim for 5 servings or more of fruits and vegetables per day, variety of colors, rest well, and have a stress-free life, because when you are stressed, your body will undergo inflammation. Okay, so this will this will lead to several diseases as well, not to mention cancer. And do regular health screening, especially if you know that you have certain risks. Do regular health screening and do self-monitoring. Lastly, you might consider some of the evidence-based supplements that can fill in the nutrient gaps in your diet. Okay. So last thing that I would like to share with you all, your food is not just being your medicine, but they can be your diet avengers, okay? So what you can do is that when you leave this room, be your own dietitian or nutritionist, because this is the thing that you can do. The previous slides that the doctor shared, probably you can't really do much, but this is the thing that you can bring home with you. So do make healthy life choices.